Hi, so today's video is going to be about folk tales, fairy tales. I'm going to feature three decks. One is a tarot and and two are oracle decks that inspired this video because, it's a time. And I've been finding that I've been drawn to folk tales and fairy tales. I have a little bit of a variety. These are books from my library. Some are quite old, and one's a little newish. So I just wanted to, share with you some of the fairy tale and folk tale books that I have. I suspect these aren't all the ones I have, but these are the ones that when I scanned my bookshelf stood out right away, so I pulled them off the shelves. I may be missing some, and if that's the case, then I'll, talk about them another day. So let's begin. I guess this is going to be no. I think this will just be about the folktale fairy tale books and the card decks that inspired this video. And then I'll do like the mid-month checkup next. All right. So, in a previous video, I shared that I received from the lovely Queen Osset a copy of the Arthur Rackham Oracle, independently produced. Now, there are certain issues with the producer of this deck, so I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to say that do your research. All right? And do your research and choose where you spend your money. All right. But I'm so happy I received this one because it inspired me to buy this one. I had seen this on the shelf of my local chapters, Indigo chapters. It's Canadian Barnes and Noble. It's very similar. It has a Starbucks in it, and it sells stuff other than books, like gifts and a lot of very expensive kind of gifts, like overpriced, whatever. Anyway, I had seen this, and I kept passing it up because I hadn't seen any reviews on it. And then I think one review that I saw was, said that, well, there's no keywords on the cards. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know. I just didn't have an opinion of it. But, oh my goodness, this cover was so compelling and has a nice linen finish. This is Fairy Oracle by Lo Scarabeo. Lo Scarabeo published this one. It's Arthur Rackham's art. Jamie Elford, I think, is the author of the little guidebook, or the person who put it together. It's quite cute. So the reason I wanted to get these is I was certain when I ordered these, and I ordered these off Amazon. I ended up ordering them off Amazon because, well, things were closed, right? I was certain that I think there's 36 cards in this. So it's like, it's a small oracle, right? 36 cards. I thought all 36 would be in here. So you know what I did? I went through this, and I found the matching cards. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And then I'll share with you the books that, inspired. Another tarot deck that then inspired another book purchase and books that I have. All right. So here we are. So this one has some interesting keywords. In the lingo, in the parlance of today, shadowy. Basically, it's not all love and light. It's not new agey at all. This is old agey, and some of these words are old agey as well. Guile, renewal, forbidden fruit, quackery, imprudence. Oh, here's the covetousness, wonder, although that image, which brings me to the images. The images are a little hard to see. They're not very clear. You have to be in really good light to make out what, everything, well, most of what's in a picture, in a card. The background is this cream color, which is nice. Like, I like that, this parchment color, but they look brighter on camera than they actually do in real life. The images are not very sharp, and I have to say that I could see this card better on camera than I can see it like looking straight at it. So yeah, I'm happy to have it, but not very impressed with the image quality. But I will treasure it because someone sent it to me as a gift, and I do love Arthur Rackham's art. So I like the backs too. Well, okay, no, I love the backs. Okay, all right. So remember I told you that, oh, for sure, I ordered this because for sure I thought all 36 images would be in these cards. I was wrong. So let me count them because I should have done this before. 1. Only 7. There are only 7 images in this 36 card deck. In this one, and I think this one's over 60 cards. Sorry, I didn't. Let me see if it says so on the information card. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Terrible. I don't know how many cards are in this one, but it looks to be at least 60. There's 36 in this one. Only 7 of them are duplicates, and I'll show them to you because it's kind of fun. So what I'm trying to say is that if you can't get your hands on this, I recommend this. Even if you got your hands on this one, this is a really nice deck. And I was a little surprised that the information in the guidebook was also quite good. And it's Lo Scarabeo, there's multiple languages. You know what I find? You know what's a pet peeve of mine? When people do a review on a Lo Scarabeo deck, and they complain about the multiple languages in the guidebook. Rip out the pages that you want and toss the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't understand why people complain about that. Lo Scarabeo is an Italian publisher. They cater to all of Europe. And yeah, they have multiple languages on the cards. Okay, well, if you don't like to have the multiple languages on your cards, I understand, and then don't order them. And a lot of the more recent offerings just have the symbol of, like on a tarot deck, will just have the symbol of the suit and then the number or the title of the card. But yeah, of course, you're getting a guidebook with the multiple languages. And every time I watch a review about a Lo Scarabeo deck, the reviewer always says, oh yeah, and there's like so many pages and like it's all different languages. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Kind of nice. I'm just saying, if you're interested in languages, you get to practice reading the language you're interested in the context of something that where you can actually compare it then to your the language that you're most proficient in. So if your mother tongue is English, you can read English, and if you're wanting to learn Spanish, you can read the Spanish in a Lo Scarabeo guidebook. And then you can go back and forth and see how well you did in reading comprehension What I'm trying to say is I don't understand why everybody has to say it. We know. Okay. I went on a little bit of a rant. I'm in a little bit of a mood. I was going to apologize, but I'm in a bit of a mood. So no, I'm not going to apologize. I had to say something about it because everybody who reviews a Los Carabeo deck says the same thing. And it's like, okay. All right. So let me compare. Back to what I was saying. And if you're one of those people that say that all the time. All right, here we go. So in the independently produced one, this card is Adoption, New Interests. And this is Los Carabeo's really nicely cleaned up. So, like it's so much, it's larger. The contrast is better. The brightness is better. It's just better. All right. The next one is this one. It's Ascension in this deck. And, I guess I could have pulled out the guidebook and told you, but they don't have keywords in the guidebook. They have a paragraph. Wait, before I misspeak, let me check. Oh, another option is if you don't like the multiple languages, you could just put a rubber band or something around your book where it just opens to the language you need. Oh yeah, there are keywords. My bad. Okay, so this one's Adoption. And this is number 10. And number 10 is Christening. So we have Christening. Oh my God, people. We have Adoption and Christening. The next card is, I was telling you, is Ascension in this deck. And in this one is number 16. And number 16 is, and you see like the Los Carabeo image is a close-up of this image. Flights of Fancy. Ascension, Flights of Fancy. Confrontation, Danger. Resistance, Defense. Fecundity, Enlightenment. Machination, oh my God, I love that word. Machination, Secrets. And last one is Cultivation, Rehearsal. And those are the only cards that these two decks have in common. 7 cards. So if you have one, you might want the other. If I were to really recommend, like, I would look at the backs on these. So pretty. So Victorian. If I were to recommend one over the other, it would be the deck by Los Carabeo. I'll show you the rest of the cards because these are just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They're moody. And that's something that doesn't quite translate in this deck. These are moody. It's like someone took the time to zoom in and work a little bit, you know, polish the image a little bit. May have been cleaned up or digitized, I don't know. But these are really moody and they're just so beautiful. It's a nice cardstock too. And like I said, if I were to say, you know, if you were to say, well, you know, if I can only have one, I would go with the Lo Scarabeo deck. This too has a nice balance of human natures, like addressing, you know, things that are human nature, in the parlance of today, light and shadow. I don't know. I think I need to go look at a walkthrough of the Arthur Rackham Tarot. If it's, you know, of course, I know it's by Lo Scarabeo, and if it's by Lo Scarabeo, those cards are just slightly smaller than U.S. Games tarot cards, like in terms of traditional tarot card size. And I don't know if those images will be too small, but if they did the same job on the image as they did in this Oracle deck, I think I'd like the Rackham Tarot. So I just haven't this. I have to find a good walkthrough, and it's a whole process, especially with tarot decks. Oh my God, it's a whole process adopting a new tarot deck. Okay, so that was my Arthur Rackham Oracle comparison between the Duck Soup people and Lo Scarabeo. I'll put this aside. Okay, next. I got this around Christmas, and I was really sick when I got this, and this turned out to be, and I had like watched so many reviews of this deck. I had watched walkthroughs, reviews. I was all confused. I didn't know if it was for me. Some people said they really hated the backs, which I find the backs are very beautiful for the style of art. Some people have criticized the fact that, you know, when it comes to John Bauer, Arthur Rackham, this is pre-existing art made to, contrived to fit into tarot. I think it's when you take pre-existing art to create a tarot deck, I can imagine that you would run into some cards. There's just no art to match that tarot deck, so you do your best and leave it up to every individual's interpretation. But this one. This one surprised me. How the readings with this deck are so clear, so direct, delivers the news it needs to deliver without being a jerk about it. So, you know, firm but gentle. Because I love this deck so much, okay? Because I had such a great experience obtaining this deck, And notice there's no modification on this one, because the only thing I would do is, I think I mentioned it when I first talked about it, is if I could find this green right here, that's what I would do the edges, because that matches the green there. But it's a Los Carabeo deck. It has the little booklet. And the little booklet is, I like it because it describes the art. It describes the image. So, nice. This tarot deck. Made me buy this. Oh my goodness. Can we just look at these images? Oh my god, look at these people. I love them. And it has a little ribbon bookmark. There's some illustrations inside the book. I just love it. I didn't get this because I wanted to understand these images better. I got this because these images made me want to know the stories. So that's it. The Unillustrated Treasury of Swedish Folk and Fairy Tales by John Bauer. So talking about the Arthur Rackham oracles, the Fairy Oracle and the Arthur Rackham Oracle, John Bauer Tarot, and the Illustrated Treasury of Swedish Folk and Fairy Tales, made me want to share with you some other books I have on my shelf. First one I want to share with you is my Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. I got this at a used bookstore. This is a Doubleday edition. And what I always find fascinating with Doubleday is how light these hardcover books are. Look how thick this is. I don't know how Doubleday makes their hardcover books so light, but it's always really cool. This one, let me see what it dates back to, because again, I got this, it's printed in America. It literally has all of the fairy tales in it. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm still trying to find the page with the date on it. I guess I missed it. Maybe it doesn't have it. No page is missing. Probably should have done this off camera. Yeah, no, there's no date on this. That's so bizarre. Okay. Anyways, love it. When I was very little, my mom read Grimm's fairy tales to me in Italian from this big book. I wonder whatever happened to it. Sad. In the 70s and 80s, I attended Saturday morning Italian school. So if you're from Montreal, you know what I'm talking about, Saturday morning Italian school. I don't know if other cities in Canada, I don't know if Toronto had the same thing. I don't know. I just know that we had it. And it was, we went to our own school, like the same school we attended. And sometimes it was a different school, but it was literally one of the primary schools. Would be open Saturday mornings, and people would come, people who were fluent in Italian, teachers, so to speak, would come and teach us, children of immigrants, Italian on Saturday mornings. And it went from grade 1 to grade 9, I think. And this is, I have some other books from those days, but this is one I want. This is one that is Le Fiabe Più Belle, and this is Grimm's Fairy Tales. And they're not all here, as you could see. It's a skinny little book. Check it out. There's my handwriting before I became Chicken Scratch. With my, of course, my maiden name. This book was $3.25 at La Libreria Italiana in Montreal. The pages are beautifully yellowed, And I just want to share with you the drawings inside, like the illustrations drawings. So yeah, so this is just a selection of a few of Grimm's fairy tales. Oh my god, the cover's coming off. And yeah, I love it. The next book I want to share is one that, oh my goodness, this, when my children were little, I searched high and low, far and wide, and finally, I want to say I found it either on Amazon or Powell's. Powell's.com, powellsbooks.com. I can't tell you, but man, when I scored this, I was so happy. And it's the Golden Book of Fairy Tales. Look at, oh my god, look at those illustrations. And let me open it up. These are the fairy, so there's your table of contents. I don't know if you'll be able to read it. And this was published, I think, in 1999. So it really, and my kids were born like in 2001 and 2003. And it was already hard to get this book, so I don't know why it was so hard to find. Well, this one was published. This one was printed in Italy. Copyright 1999, yeah, so it's not an old book, but I don't know why it was so hard to find. Look at the little touches on each page. I'll show you more of the illustrations. Let me find a nice... A lot of the illustrations are this monochromatic rose color. Sorry people, this is like, oh my god. So this monochromatic rose color with the occasional full color. It's a beautiful book. See, this is it without the dust jacket. And I don't know if it's still available. I don't know if it was just not, like, if it was just hard to find when I was looking for it almost 20 years ago. Right? Because it's been, you know, it was published 21 years ago. Or the copyright is from 21 years ago. So, I don't know what the story is, people, but it's a beautiful book. If you come across it in your travels and you like fairy tales, nice book. Last but not least, this is for my people who practice Italian folk magic. Or you're interested in Italian folk magic. Well, I'm often asked, are there any other books on the subject? Well, regrettably, no. They're not, like, you know, there's my book on the subject of Italian folk magic, and my book just covers like a really small amount. So in the English language, there isn't much available. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing available. You have to do a little bit of work, and also it helps you a little bit to, you know, learn a bit the language, learn the history. Like any other practice, it's nice to know the context, right? Well, I always recommend Italian folk tales by Italo Calvino because there's so much magic in these folk tales. And you also might find, you know, you might be reading something and suddenly say to yourself, oh my gosh, why do I know this story? because a lot of these stories were told to us orally, without a book, by a nonna or Zia or whatever. Sometimes they tried to pass off these stories as their own stories. Seriously, I was told a whopper by one of my uncles that I found in here. So, and it made me laugh out loud. And if you're Freudian, I wish he was still living so I could call him out on it. All right. So, Italian folk tales by Italo Calvino. And that's it for my folk tales and fairy tales video today. Just wanted to visit some stuff on my bookshelf. Video inspired by the 2 decks, actually the 3 decks, the 2 oracle decks and the tarot deck. And yeah, just talk about something different for a change. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful day.